And we're back. It's been about 10 months since the last video, so you can show how dedicated I am to this. Actually, it's just been quite a year, as most of you are probably well aware of, so I thought it was about time to do an update on the shop. Exterior's not changed too much. We did a big power washing in May of last year, because there was a lot of just dirt, to be honest with you, on the outside of the building. Over here, across the road, there's actually a foundry, so the poor building was covered with a lot of dirt. Come springtime, we're shooting for painting the exterior. The block is fine, the actual structure is fine, it just needs paint. It's just been a long time since it's had a coat. 1988 was when it was painted last. On the last video, we didn't walk around the back. Again, I apologize for the ambient noise. Here we are on the back side. Again, you can see the paint's ready to go, but this was all power washed. I did it. Apparently someone's Christmas decoration has blown into my yard. Back up. And we're in the sun. It was a mid-January day. It is cold. That's a good day. Again, power washed all this. We had to do some mortar repair at the top. The capstone along the top had broken in some spots and allowed water to intrude, and that breaks up the concrete, so you have to attend to that type of stuff. Big cleanup through here. Still got a little more to do. This hasn't moved. Really, this door we haven't really even begun using at all. This is a smaller dock door. Into here is the part of the warehouse. But we just have no use for it, so we've just left it be for now. Most of the effort we've been doing has been concentrated on the inside, because from the last video, it was in pretty rough shape. A lot of mortar repair along the front of the dock. We did a paint job on the dock. It needed it. And there we go. So this is basically the exterior. We upgraded the lights for the security light there. You can kind of see it right about there. And then we did the same up here. And more to come on the lighting. That's kind of an interesting point. So let's go inside. Okay, here we are inside. Let the camera catch up. This is the office space. You'll excuse the shipping blankets. This is the one space that we converted for Melissa's textiles. And it's also heated. The main furnace is running now, so in here it's a nice 65 degrees. It's actually nice and comfortable. Big workbench for her. We repurposed one of the other desks we found here. This is a beautiful oak desk, actually, probably mid-50s maybe. She's set up with her Cricut, electric heater, of course, and mechanical sock knitting machine. This is a very cool machine. More to come on that later. So let's go out. But we put the blankets up to keep the heat in here, because the rest of the workshop is we really just keep the furnace turned down as low as possible when we're not here. I was wrong in the last video. This is actually 6,500 square feet in total, and that's a lot to heat if you're not around. So as you can see, it's very toasty in here. When we arrived today, it was 36 inside. It's about 15 outside. So this was originally kind of a kitchenette, if you want to call it something. There was a ancient water heater here. That is gone. We've cleaned all that out. For now, painted the walls. little kitchen, or excuse me, a counter. Little fridge, because you have to have a fridge. Hot plate, and then into the women's restroom. We cleaned all this out. Again, painted the floor. It's not perfect, but it's good for now. Sink's done. All the plumbing was torn out. Supply and drain completely gone. Rebuilt all of it. New PEX plumbing throughout. Strange, we had to add a water filter. The water here has a peculiar taste to it, and it's actually gritty. There's a lot of sediment. This section of town is quite old. The infrastructure for the town is quite old, so really it's not a surprise. That is a Culligan water filter. That is a really great value for what it is. It's like $40, super easy to install, works great. Water tastes fantastic now. Walking into the main hall, as we recall, we had a room here. There was a room here. This window was actually buried behind a wall, and then it extended out. It's basically one large, if you want to call it a add-on or whatever, and then it was divided out in, I believe, 3 rooms. That's all torn out. We just wanted the space. Original, that furnace I think is about 20 plus. It's working fine. We had a couple of small repairs, some maintenance. It's working. But adding shelving, I'm fairly convinced you can have every shelf in the world and you still don't have enough. But we're getting there. Added a main workbench. I can't recall if that was in the last video or not. I don't think it was. Secondary workbench is here. The shop's a mess right now. We've been doing a lot of work. We're preparing to move some more stuff into the building. But for the general making area, we're fairly set up for now. Chop saw, drill press, sanding station, the venerable Crescent bandsaw, which is just the greatest thing ever. My geriatric Delta table saw, which, it's a good saw. I'd like to upgrade at some point. Buried underneath all of this, this is actually a Sydney machine tool planer joiner. It's a 12-inch machine. We grabbed it at the end of last summer. That is a project I'm hoping to jump into here fairly soon. Mechanically, it's great. The Babbitt bearing are nice and tight. I have to get a motor for it, which I do have one set aside. And then build a fixture for grinding the blades, and then we're ready to go. Future video. Let's see, we covered all this. Kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if it'll be interesting to compare the videos. We upgraded all the lights in the building. We added those. These are all the existing fluorescents, all converted to LED. These are added LEDs. Same for this room, all the lights. I think we did a total of 18 fixtures converted to LED. It's interesting, that is the last one that is not converted. I'm actually doing that later today. This room, we did a total clean out in here. We just today I finished repainting that wall. Hopefully I have a separate video for that. Car's been moved in over here. That's on dollies, that's my Camaro. Starting to move machine tools over. So the mill was over in the other room originally. We've moved it here. This is just kind of a placeholder for a moment. I'm debating now whether to put the lathe here or actually move both the mill and the lathe here and here. Not sure yet. Still debating on that. Power is not an issue in here. I've got full access to the panels. Both that and the lathe are single-phase machines, so it's not an issue. But yeah, literally just finished repainting this room today. It's a long time because you're moving a lot of materials in and out of the building. It was March of last year during lockdown. We actually got a 20-yard dumpster and filled it in one day, no problem. We still have a lot of other things that still need to be thrown away, tucked away out in the warehouse. This area is actually the work area my dad's been using. He comes up and we give him free reign to the whole workshop. It's kind of where he kind of does his hobbies. We're going to do a little bit of renovation over here. I'm going to add some more power for him. This is a Hoosier cabinet we picked up at a flea market about 5 years ago, and it's been getting ready for restoration ever since. Dad's jumping on that one as his next project. A little more cleanup work. Some of this is getting thrown away. Again, you can see the difference with the LED lighting. We moved all the presses into here. This is going to be the dedicated printing area. Well, we haven't even touched them. I got them moved, and that was it. I'm planning on starting with this one. It's a Chandler & Price. It's pre-1900, but not by much. Typically, you can tell on these machines and by the flywheels. If you can see the nice swoop in the spokes, that's normally indicative of something that's pre-1900. Not always, but fairly good watch on that. This is the other CNP. This is about 1950s machine, and that is a Kluge. Again, about 1950s. Both of those are good machines. I want to start on this one because we have a lot of small projects set aside for that. We move the stone in here. This is actually very interesting. This is two cabinets, or one cabinet with two sets of drawers, all loaded with type, both lead type and wooden block type. It's a big job. All that still has to be cleaned. I think when we do that, I'll pull all the drawers out. I'll do kind of a light cleanup and fix up on the cabinet itself. It's kind of got a little bit of a lean over on it. Yeah, so again, there's no shortage of things to do around here. Moving forward. I actually had to invest in a scaffold because, well, doing 18 lighting fixtures off of a ladder didn't sound like a whole heck of a lot of fun to me. The geriatric fork truck. All workshops should have a fork truck. This is the big dock door. The little one that we were pointing out earlier is over on the other side of that wall. Not much has happened over here. Still got to clean all that out. That's happening probably in the next couple of weeks. And then this is the lathe. A lot of tooling, just a lot of mess. There's just so much to clean up now. I did manage to get all the rigging equipment sorted out as well. That helps. So, a lot of work done, a lot to do. One of the things we had to do was these two brown walls, it's actually two pieces, are on casters. And we made those mobile, but we wanted to block off the warehouse. The reason being is the warehouse is not heated at all. There's not really that much insulation in this building anyways. And we just wanted to try to cut our heating bills down. So we built these two mobile walls just to access the warehouse when we needed to. So I just rolled the door out of the way. You can actually feel the cold falling into this section of the building. We'll see how the little camera can compensate. This is still just a hot mess out here. That machine needs to go. This still requires a lot of cleanup. That is all being thrown away. Well, not the kayaks. We're going to get another big dumpster in and just do that. There's a ton of things out in the corner that have to go. Excuse me. Everything else is actually going to stay. It needs a little more organization, but it's got to stay. The downside is I have no lighting out here. All the fixtures are either broken or missing. One big boon we were able to do last year, it's going to be a little hard to see. This here, and then in the back. That's the last two trees we slabbed up. In the back corner is a huge maple stump we slabbed. It was a shame I didn't have enough bar length. Those are almost 40 inches in width, 36 maybe. And then all of this is oak. It's very hard to see. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with that. The maple is quite pretty. It's heavily spalted. Another big project, the air compressor. Was plumbed into the building at some point. It hasn't been, it's over time, it's just been destroyed. Not the compressor, but the plumbing, so that's all got to be redone. Last note on the lighting. So we converted everything to LED, and we had to wait about a full month cycle on the energy bill just to see what kind of difference we were going to make. And it was interesting. We were actually using the shop a little bit more in that month. It was December. Doing Christmas projects, things of this nature, and used almost 100 kilowatt hours less electricity. And it just kind of goes to show how much power those old fluorescents use. They just consume a lot of it. The downside from the conversion is now I have almost 40 fluorescent bulbs and almost 20 ballasts that I have no idea what to do with. But the conversions are easy. If you're ever considering to do it, you just get there's stuff on Amazon all over the place. It's very simple. You essentially cut out the ballast, rewire everything into straight to the current line, 110 lines, and you're done. So that's the update for now. More to come. A lot of projects in the pipeline. We have a lot of projects. Some for here. The next big phase of renovations here. Oh. Every workshop should have a Wolf stove because, Wolf stove. But the next big phase of tear out is actually all of this. This wall has to go. This header's going to come out. This doorway is coming away. And at the minimum, all of this has to come out too. The reason being is actually got damaged by termites at some point. It's quite torn up. There's some sections that there's just not a lot left of the structure. The glass is cracked here and here, which is kind of a shame. It's that classic mid-50s, spangled, whatever you want to call it, privacy glass. But it's so damaged you can't keep it. It's all got to go. But that's probably going to be spring, maybe. To be full disclosure, I kind of ran out of steam after we tore out all of this and redid all of this, and we've done all that, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's only so many hours in the day. So, all right. Well, I will leave it on that. Appreciate you watching, and have a fine day.